It's cold out there.
If there's one thing that gets the general UK populace stirring in a flurry of conversation, it's snow.
Recently, the UK has had quite a bit of this weather, and my god do people love to complain about it. So I thought I'd review a game which is set in a snowy land, a game with fantasy, adventure, and monsters galore. Now, I'm sure you were all thinking of Icewind Dale for the PC.
Skyrim? Pfft. Who plays that game? Well, actually a lot of people do.
This is a game I remember playing when I was young, even though I never really got very far, which is why I'm coming back to it.
Icewind Dale was released in 2000 and was developed by Black Isle, the brilliant team behind Planescape Torment and Fallout 1 and 2. And they also published the largely successful Baldur's Gate franchise. Let's take a look at the box. Icewind Dale, a Baldur's Gate engine adventure set in the Forgotten Realms. And there's also a tree, for some reason. I don't know. The art inside the box is very nice, and the art on the discs is really cool as well. The game starts off with a little intro movie, with an old guy talking over a book. It's a little too long to go over in full detail, so I'll just try my best to summarize it. So there's a place called Icewind Dale, which is separated from the rest of the land by a series of mountains. There were tribes of barbarians who lived here, and they lived happily and independently. That is, until Wizard McDouchebag arrives with an army of mercenaries and tries to take them over. However, just when they think it's all over, a hero called Gerard unites them, and they push back the forces of the evil wizard. This is where things get quite interesting for the barbarians. The wizard then lets all hell loose on the battlefield. Quite literally. Of course, he regrets his decision, and the demons murder everything. Our hero, Gerard, sees the havoc, has a religious epiphany, and then saves the day by jumping into the portal where the demons came out of. The demons go poof, and Gerard does his best Han Solo impression. I never actually remember watching this intro movie before. I probably just skipped it when I was younger. Ooh, this main menu. I know this may sound odd, but I really love the sound these buttons make. Pure nostalgia right there. And that music, by God. I don't think I've heard a more badass theme. Jeremy Saw, my friend. I want to marry your music. Well, it's best that we start a new game. Unlike most RPGs today, in this game you have 6 characters to control, and you have to create them all. You select gender, race, class, alignment, abilities, skills, appearance, biography, and name. This is quite in-depth, so as you'd imagine, this takes quite a while to do for every character. Right, we have the perfect party, but one more free slot. Let's make a female dwarf warrior. Yeah, here we go. Now for appearance. Oh my god! Oh my god, she has a beard! Did they not think that anyone would play as a female dwarf? Whatever, let's just make the most ridiculous character possible. Oh yes, that's beautiful. I call her Brittany. Don't you know that you're toxic? So we have Davy, Warwick, Brion, St. Bernard, Murloc, and Brittany. I can't possibly think of a greater team. Right off the bat, I noticed something I dislike about this game. While it does have nice pre-rendered backgrounds and decent sprites, the resolution is awful. The game runs at 640 by 480. So I thought I might as well just play in windowed mode. Now unfortunately, windowed mode doesn't actually allow you to pan the camera, which is necessary for playing the game. You can only do this in full screen. This means that I was forced to stretch this tiny sized game over a widescreen monitor. And just look at it! It makes everything look ugly! Anyway, the start of the game takes place in East Haven, a snowy village, and you're greeted in the tavern by Hrothgar, who looks like he is wearing T-51B power armor from Fallout. He just explains what you should do and leaves you to your own devices. I then decided to head over to the shopkeeper for some much needed equipment, and we engaged in some dialogue. It's pretty much your average RPG dialogue system. You have the neutral response, the polite response, and the snarky or hostile response. I'd like to think that I'm a nice guy, so I went for the nice responses. After kitting out my crew, I ventured off into the land. My party, prepared for the adventure of a lifetime. What's this? A young boy needs help with goblins? No problem. Away with ye, foul beasts. Oh no! Oh my god, no! Someone! Help! There's a goblin chasing me! They killed all my friends! Anyone? Oh! I did it! But my entire party is dead! Except my cleric. But no one cares about her. Some healer you were. Now everyone's dead. It's all your fault. Useless wench! If it isn't immediately obvious, this game, especially in the early levels, is really quite tricky. It involves a lot of what I call tactical combat. You can pause the game at any time and devise a strategy to eliminate your opponents, or perhaps just survey the screen. I realised, rather quickly in fact, that I am not very good at this. I remember now why I never got very far in this game. Upon trying to scrap with these little blighters again, I created a new strategy. It's called rush in and smash their little green faces in. Oh ho ho, I am a true tactician. Trust me. Once you get into the swing of things, this combat is very fun, and even though you have a lot to micromanage, it can be very exciting. The voices of your characters in this game are decently acted for the most part, but it's good to know that my party leader sounds like the enthusiastic role model everyone should look up to.
Yeah, that's fine, I guess. Sure.
What a heroic sounding man. Oh, and my halfling sounds like Squidward.
Go ahead. Okay.
Are you Squidward?
No.
In order to advance, I had to investigate the disappearance of a caravan, who were late for delivering supplies. I found my way into a cave infested by orcs. Unfortunately, I was a low level, so they beat up my characters pretty good before the orcs were finally beaten down. So, to clear this dungeon, I had to kill a group of orcs, rush back to East Haven, and then rest to regain health. Then mosey on back to do the same thing again. I'm not saying this is bad, but it's a little time consuming. I could have potentially used potions, but they are scarce in this area, and the shopkeeper here doesn't even sell them. Anyway, after a while of slowly chipping away at the orc population, we find an ogre with a group of orcs.
Crush!
And my party was slaughtered. Eventually, I found a way to separate some of the orcs from their group and take them out. This made it simple enough to murder the rest of the orcs and the ogre, thus completing the quest. This made me feel good. I had accomplished something difficult. I felt as if I had done well. Not many games do that, especially in RPGs. Most of the time, you're just like, yeah, quest complete, now fork over the loot, you stingy peasant. Returning to East Haven finishes off this section, which is called simply Prologue. This prologue took me about 2 hours to complete. It's immediately obvious that this is one long game. Heck, some Let's Plays of it span over 120 parts. That's how long this game is. If you have the dedication to break past the difficulty barrier, then you'll certainly enjoy this game, and get many hours out of it. Now, I'll be honest, I didn't play too much of this game, but it would take me so long to progress in it that it would take too long to review it in full. However, I will continue playing this game even after this review is uploaded. There's so much to do, so much to enjoy. I've only really finished the first part of this game, and I'm already loving it. This game has a lot of depth, and a huge feeling of adventure and accomplishment. It'll challenge both your skills and your mind through its combat, and even though the story is a little generic, it'll interest you enough to continue onwards. And the music, as I have already stated, is beautiful. Undoubtedly, this game features some of Jeremy Soul's best work. The game got a sequel and an expansion pack as well, to further add to your playtime.
I can't recommend this game to everyone because it is quite difficult. I mean, there is a difficulty slider in the game, but it seems to do little to help.
Now, if you've watched this review and thought, this game actually looks alright, then I would recommend that you buy this game from GOG.com. It probably works better than my retail version, and you'll be able to enjoy this game to its full potential.